Lomachenko like Tank be punishing them bitches. When Tank get in there and knock their ass out, that's what we want to see. I love knockout.
What up, Bill?
Shit, I got the best fight.
Hold on. I got to turn off thing. You know, I be listening. My bad. I was listening to the caller, you know what I mean, trying to get my daughter off to school and just working, brother. You know what I mean? Hey, man. Shout out to the boxing voice, man. You know what I mean? For asking the streets the real questions. Are you listening? Can you hear me, Ness? Good?
Perfect.
Yeah, man, asking the streets and the boxing community the real questions, the tough questions. What makes you the man? You know, are we going to start adding the Jake Pauls of the world who do a great job bringing the attendance and bringing awareness to the boxing game? Are we going to now start determining it by that? I believe that Tank is doing a wonderful job at bringing casuals to the sport. No different than Jake, no different than Ryan. But ultimately, we have to have this one thing that decides who is the baddest guy. And that has always been traditionally the hardware. Now, we don't want to have the diamond rings and things and not have the belts and straps. You know, it can't be strap season and you're strapless. You dig what I'm saying? But did I say something wrong?
Nah, we hear you.
Okay. It can't be strap season and you're strapless. You know what I mean? You can't have a Glock and don't have no bullets. You know what I mean? I'm just saying.
So, Coach, obviously, he does have a strap. It's the WBA regular. There was consolidation in that sanctioning body. Have you ever talked to Gilberto Mendoza about the possibility of Tank and Devin consolidating belts so it's just one in the division? Because they have done that in other divisions with the WBA belt.
Absolutely. And what I always say about Devin being the fighter of this era, and I said it for the first time on the Boxing Voice, because you have guys that's now being considered, and we're talking about people as if they're pursuing fights, but you're actually not going to the sanctioning body. You know what I'm saying? You got to go to the sanctioning body. You got to go to your promoters. You got to go to the managers. You got to go to the street. You can't only just come to the internet and say that you've done what Devin Haney has done. If your team is not down in Mexico, like the Boxing Voice are always at the sanctioning body conventions. And if you don't have actually your team and your participant and you're actually at the sanctioning body putting that full court press on the organizations as well as you're putting them on the content creators, then it's an imbalance. When you're really making your campaign and you run for it, I mean, golly, you're putting pressure on everybody. You know, shout out to you guys and getting Mauricio Suleiman on here at 12. You know what I mean? You know, sure. Bill Haney, the only man that pulls up with the business vocally on the platform while we're trying to chase the person that we're trying to chase. You see what I'm saying? And we have a legendary, notorious meeting where we met on a platform. We didn't get the things that we wanted from a DHP perspective, but what you got a chance to see is us pulling up. Now, the Mauricio will be on the Boxing Voice at 12. So anybody that wants to call in and talk to Mauricio and ask him these things. He's a great man. It's a great organization. But at the same time, I firmly believe you get what you ask for in life. And you have to continue to ask for it and manifest it. And it's no secret that Devin started in 2005. No, not 2005. Ringwalk Danny. What year did Devin turn pro? I'm just because I don't want to.
Was it 17? 17,
15.
right?
15. Yeah.
15.
2015, and the time that he spent in the division since 2015. It's no way and no reason why he wouldn't have his opportunity to become the guy. We seized our opportunity when we went to Australia not once but twice, something that has never ever been done. And I'm gonna tell you another thing that is that Devin redefines what it means to be the A side. We've never been in a situation where we've claimed the A side and not making the fight, doing everything that an A side does to not make the fight. To me, that's making an ass of yourself. You got to the point that you wanted to become the people's champ. You want to give those kind of fights. You got people checking for you, but you're making all the wrong fights. Huh? You got up in the thing and you wanted people to check for you. You wanted people to want you to be in the big fights, but then you make the fights with people that, with fighters that no one knows. It seems like it's a direct contradiction to everything that you work hard for. But I mean, that's just me.
So, Bill, obviously we are talking about Devin and the fact that yesterday on your live, I noticed you said Loma Devin is in May. Any more details you could give us? Mid-May, beginning May, Saudi, Abu Dhabi, New York, Vegas. What's going on? Because Danny seems to believe that some of these locations are no longer on the table.
Well, you bring them, whatever the place is, Devin gonna show up. You know what I'm saying? And that's what being a world champion is being. Now, Loma said if he's saying the only way that he wants to do it is New York, and well, that's something that's not a problem for us. That's a non-starter issue. Devin is a world champion.
Why does Loma get?
No, what I'm saying. Okay, just excuse me 1 second. There are certain things, right, that don't make any sense, right? You heard one caller, and you have great New York fans. You have the media in New York. You have a great opportunity for Devin to knock him out in front of all of his people, all the great Ukrainian people, right there. That's fine. Devin is 24, right? He's a road warrior, right? This is what we do. Okay, so I'm saying this. We don't come on here and say, oh, no way we going to New York. New York ain't happening. No way we ain't going to Saudi. No way we ain't going to, brother, we're going wherever. We're going wherever to fight whoever.
How
And
far
that's
out?
what being a champion is. It's not coming on saying, oh, well, the only way, Loma, the only way we're going to make the fight happen if it's in Oakland, the only way we're going to make it happen in this Las Vegas. Man, that's what everybody else been doing. But that's not the fighter that Devin is of this era. He's willing to fight anywhere that the best situation can happen to get the fighter in the ring, right? And that's what you have to do.
That's a direct shot that Tank is taking at Devin, saying he can't fight in his hometown. Well,
listen,
he's saying that people don't know him, and that even though he has the belts, people still think Tank is the real champ.
Well, like I said, being from Oakland, being from that Bay Area, the earth is our turf. You know what I mean? You can't geographically box us into any one place. Devin is a world champion. I don't say what Tank is doing or isn't doing. I say that it makes for a hell of an event. And I never say nothing bad about these guys. I just say that they say everything except let's fight. Now, if Tank's the guy and Devin can't do this and do that, Devin can do more than any guy Tank that ever fought. So, I mean, why should we have an argument?
Do you think that fight's ever gonna happen? Because we've had callers calling in here. They saying Devin's the man. They saying Tank's the man.
No.
Those two guys haven't fought.
Okay. If and to go along with everything that Tank is doing, and Tank is the man. Tank said after
the Cambosa second win, he would fight y'all.
He would fight him. So that didn't happen, right? So that didn't happen. Then he came out and said after he finishes with what's his guy? The Garcia and then the Garcia, correct?
Yes.
He said Garcia and Garcia. Well, he's finished with one Garcia, and we haven't gotten a call at all. Now, you were able to negotiate with two Garcias at the same time, but now you tightened up one Garcia. Good job to you and your team. But now there's no Garcia and Haney. There's just Garcia, and he says, he'll do it if I don't know what he said. I didn't even understand none of this shit. Danny, you would have to help me with that.
Well, it looks
what he said since then.
It looks like definitely going to be not Rolly Tank versus Ryan in April 15th. Ryan spilled the date. Tank confirmed it. So
Ryan also said the
Okay,
venue.
what's the next? Hey, what's the next date after you tighten Ryan up? What's that date? Who he
it ain't
fighting after that?
It
none that
might
I've
be a
heard.
rematch though. You think they have a rematch, Bill, or no?
I haven't been thinking about it. If it ain't attached to Devin Haney, then I can't give it any serious thought. But what I can do is be a fight fan and support it and say, okay, well that's another thing, whatever that thing may look like, but that thing is not necessarily a threat to us. What we think about is fights that can happen. And I've always talked about Lomachenko, and I think that Lomachenko is a fighter that's going to show up on the fight night. He's vocally came out and said that he wanted the belts. He's vocally said Devin Haney is the champ. He's vocally said Devin is the A side. For all intent purposes, he's respected Devin like a fighter, and we must respect him as a fighter as well. All this other shit, that's not fight talk. That's some other kind of talk that or 14 years of maturing in the game, we not interested in. At least I'm not interested in having no, you know what I mean, no verbal wrestling match if the guy ain't saying that he want to fight, and the guy is saying that we're not qualified, but we're more qualified than anybody that you've ever fought. You know what I'm saying? I mean, clearly with the belts, make him Devin more qualified for you to want to fight than anyone. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying this: I don't come on here to bash Tank Davis and what they doing. I only talk about fight me. You know what I'm saying? And somehow I get into it with fans that I really respect that follow the sport. Because if you follow in this sport, I respect and I love and I appreciate you. But I get into it with them by just saying that we want to fight. When I don't understand how the Garcia team don't get into him, the Rolly team don't get into it with him. Like, what's happening, Ness? Talk to me.
I don't know what it is, but I do want to ask if you know what it's gonna take to get Tank into the ring. Obviously, he's
Okay,
not
I'll
with
tell you one thing.
Mayweather.
We talked to the WBA president, right? Devin talked to him.
Gilberto.
And, Gilberto. Dev said,
Mm-hmm.
"What's going on? How can we make this fight happen? I know you guys were talking about consolidating the belts. Are you guys going to order the fight?" They said they talked to Tank Davis and his team, and his team said that if they order the fight, they're going to go another direction.
Oh wow.
No, but that's what it was. That's serious. Because we were under the belief that they were going to be
Mm-hmm.
consolidating to one division. So, we thought more than sure that that's something that the WBA was going to enforce.
So now Calvin Ford was on the show, and he says that you only said what you said about him not being paid and not having the car because you trying to get the fight. Do you
No, no,
think?
no, 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 no. Hell to the no. I'm saying that you have guys that are super qualified as trainers, right? Trainer of the years, right? And they don't say shit. They don't say shit about what we're going through. They don't know shit. They don't say shit. They don't watch shit. You know what I mean? So you have a trainer of the year nominee in me that's saying, hey, listen, coaches do a hell of a job bringing these fighters up from amateurs, right? Coaches do a hell of a job in getting these fighters when they have losses with other coaches, right? What we do as a job is so undervalued and so underappreciated that I spoke out for Calvin getting paid in a way that's a man, getting paid in a way that everyone respects us as coaches, not just the philanthropy side that we do, not just the humanity side that we do, because we do that with fighters that aren't getting any money as well, all day, every day. We're showing. But when a fighter reaches the plateau of success at the top, well, we're looking after the central nucleus of the team as well, because the coaches have a family, right? That they've dedicated their life to help the fighter. The fighter has a family, and both of them should be paid. Just like the promoters have been getting paid for forever, and it's never been a fight for the promoter to be paid. Just like it's been a fight for the fighter to be paid, who's going to speak out for the trainers? Who's speaking out for the trainers? I mean, listen, coaches walk with these fighters all the way to the door, and then they don't get paid, they don't get celebrated, they don't get taken care of. And the only thing that we can come on here and say is that we're doing the obvious thing is looking after the fighter. You would have never known who the fighter was if we didn't do that. So of course we look out for the fighter in a way that people don't even understand. You know what I mean? But this misconnotation that trainers are supposed to be walking on the back of their shoes and trainers are supposed to be not getting paid. Well, why are trainers like Deion Sanders in football being celebrated? Why are trainers in basketball like Phil Jackson and why are they celebrated? So, brother, I come on and I tell you the truth. I say my son takes care of me. He takes care of me in a way that I can stick my chest out and have my chin up high. And that's the way that I feel. If we showed you everything else and didn't show you that part, I feel that fighters, younger fighters, should pay attention to the way that Devin is carrying his team, right? You can't sit up and talk about you got record-breaking gates and you got all this other stuff and then not talk about the nucleus of your team doing, being successful.
Bill, you think that that's the disconnect? We had some callers call in and insinuate that because Devin lives this clean-cut, millionaire, religious lifestyle, that the people can't relate to him because the people go through real-life problems. The people got court cases. The people relate more to Tank. That's what the caller was saying.
Well, unfortunately, the business of entertainment is not being driven by our culture, not being driven by the guys that look like me. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times the story that's celebrated is a story that comes from, where I came from. But I actually not the celebration of me being an evolved man and raising my kid not to go through what I went through. You know what I mean? So naturally, the powers that be won't celebrate that story as much as they'll celebrate the other story. You know what I mean? But that's cool too. We don't change our stripes. You know what I mean? We know that we have to continue to being us.
So what did you think? Obviously, since your, interview with us and the short, it kind of went viral on social media. You seen the comments, but people defending Calvin saying he had a, beautiful truck in the last All Access. Were you happy to see him,
Well, no, because we're always a step behind, and what they want us to talk about is the truck and the cars. What I'm speaking on is generational wealth. I'm speaking on being able to provide for my family and provide for my kids generational wealth that then they can provide for their kids and so on and so forth. So we can't glamorize or sensationalize trucks and cars and all this. What we have to do is take the cash that's king and properly invest it into things that are assets and not liabilities.
I mean, Bill, but you was the one that said what kind of car he drive. You brought up the truck.
And that's why I said this. It was actually a call to action in terms of shining a light that my good brother wasn't getting paid in a way that they were celebrating the money. So if you're celebrating that we're getting all this money, right? We're the cash cow, but then you're not spreading the cash around the team in a way that they're able to create generational wealth for themselves. Now, he said a car. He came in and said a car. Okay, thank you. I'm glad to see that he showed up with the 2010, and that's good.
Nah, it was 2022 Escalade, man. That was a 2022, Bill. That shit like 130.
No, I was talking about that Mercedes, man, down there. I was talking about that Mercedes that he was in. I didn't see the Escalade.
Yeah, on 24/7, the Access, they had Calvin pushing.
Oh, yeah, the cars on there is rented. I was talking about the one that he.
They had Maryland plates, Bill. They had Maryland plates.
Well, that's what rental cars do is they have the plates on the state that you're in. But let me tell you, no. See, y'all laughing. I'm serious. But I was talking about the Mercedes on Ellie's joint that the fight. He pulled up to the fight in.
Oh,
Oh,
I ain't
I
see
ain't see
that.
that.
Yeah, I ain't.
But that's nothing, man. You know what I'm saying? I always poke and make fun
But do you
at the
think
stuff.
that's gonna get you to fight though? Do you think you pissing Tank off enough to be like, yo, coach, I'm gonna fuck his son up for you?
Man, listen,
You ain't even react.
I don't care nothing about that,
He
man.
didn't even react. So you ain't trying to trigger Tank into shutting your mouth by fighting Devin.
No, 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 no. No, I wanted, listen, I wanted Coach Calvin to come out and say, Bill is wrong, Tank is paying me good. Or I wanted Coach Calvin to then, Tank say, you know what, Coach, I gotta pay you, man. This beat is on our helmet. Let me pay you. Let me let you. And anybody that know out of the DMV, it's good that Calvin then pulls back out in that 2022 Escalade or that 2010 Mercedes or something, right? Why not? Do we just look at just Tank Davis? Do we just look at Devin Haney? Do we just look at Ryan Garcia? Or are we able to look back and behind the scenes and get a chance to see the wonderful job that that the coaches have did with the fighters and the wonderful job that the fighters have did financially taking care of the coaches? Is that not a perfect balance, or am I saying something wrong?
Nah, definitely a perfect balance. Bill, have you ever had a conversation with Bob about, sending an offer to Tank, especially now that he's a free agent?
No, I haven't had a talk with Bob about sending an offer to the cash cow of boxing. I don't know about that. I don't know.
Is that
Didn't
so?
didn't he say?
I know when you was with Dazn, you was very hands on. Have you fallen back from that role because of the great matchmakers at Top Rank, or are you still at liberty to shake and move and make phone calls?
Hey man, listen. Only thing that I would really like, is if the Tank Davis team, right, would stop the bullshit, stop the cap, talk to us, right? Negotiate with us the same way that they do with everybody else. Why? How difficult is it? It's not difficult for them with anybody else. Why is it? How does it have to be so difficult now, right?
But can't you send that first offer so that, because Eddie sent Tank an offer even though Tank hates Eddie, like he
Uh huh.
sent one.
Well, I'll listen. I'll tell you this. I can send a public offer to Tank and his team that we will guarantee that fighting Devin, I'll make sure that he makes more money than he's ever made with anybody that he fought. How about that?
I mean, that's a good start. That's a good
All
start.
he all they have to do is accept the fact. All they have to do is accept the fact that this is going to be a great fight, and let's have some dialogue. Let's kick some stuff. See, the difference between Eddie and Tank is that, I mean, between me, our team, and Tank is Eddie and Tank were talking. He wasn't like he just sent a secret thing out the blue. They were actually having dialogue back and forth.
Okay. Now, do you think it's just better to handle the Loma fight, worry about Tank later, because you yourself and your son will be a free agent? Um, yeah, basically.
Well, and then let me tell you, just to reiterate something before we go right there with the Loma, because Loma publicly came out and said it. And the difference with the Gary Russell situation is Gary Russell publicly came out and said what his number was. You know what I mean? He publicly came out and said give him the 1.5. So if Tank publicly, or Team Tank publicly said what I need, all I need is X amount of dollars, then, or if they sent a text or they sent whatever, then I can go out and work at getting the money.
Do you know who to contact now since he's no longer with Mayweather and Ellaby was at the fight? Do you think that that's
I
still a
think he's with.
contact?
I think he's. Isn't he with?
They say he's with Al Heyman advised now, but no longer with Mayweather, was the report from, I believe, Keith Idec.
Well, as far as I know, that the promoter, the lead promoter, was Tom Brown uh, on his last show. So, I mean, I believe it's Tom Brown and Al Heyman, his manager of like always, But I believe that Tom is Tom Brown married to Mrs.
To
Goosen?
Brittany?
Mrs. Goosen?
I think
Isn't
that's
she?
his sister, no?
I thought that was his daughter.
Oh, shit.
Bro,
Okay.
like,
Right, but that's Mrs. Goosen. That's Dan Goosen's daughter, correct?
Yeah, Brittany is
Okay,
his
yeah.
daughter.
Yeah, Brittany Goosen, right? Which people must understand by Brittany Goosen and Tom Brown being Tank's promoter and Ryan Garcia Goosen being the trainer for Ryan, right?
It
So
was easier.
you see the connection. So once again, while these fighters are saying that they're doing it, they have some behind the scenes help in the Goosens, I believe. And when I became aware of it, I was like, wow, that's good.
Mm. All right. Well, I get it. I get it. I get it. So you feel like they had an in, but you know plenty of people. I'm sure you and Ellerby can pick up the dialogue.
Can you make some coffee for me, please? Thank you. You said me and Ellerby.
Yeah. Because I gotta ask, do you think Tank is the biggest fight for your son to make at 35?
Um,
Both commercially and financially.
uh, no, the biggest fight is the fight that we in next with
Loma.
Loma for Devin. For Devin. You know what I'm saying? And just personally, like, okay, when you look back and you think about the money that the fighters was making, right? We don't remember it. We don't really remember the Sugar Ray. We don't really remember how much Mike McCallum was making. We don't really remember the stuff. We remember the fights. We remember the belts. And I think the legacy is what reigns supreme.
I guess. I guess, but you got guys like Calvin Ford out here saying that belts don't matter. Do you think that's specifically because they don't want to fight the guy with all the belts? Or is that just
Well,
another shot since you've been taking shots?
Well, the belts didn't matter when the guy that got the belts, you don't want to fight. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's when the belts don't matter. When the guy with the belts and Cambosos said that you got to come over to Australia, now the belts don't matter, right? The belts matter, but if you come to me, I'll take them belts off of you. But if I got to go to Australia, I don't want them. You know what I mean? So that's just a cop out. You know what I mean? Um, like Roy Jones taught us is whatever kind of belt that a person got, right? If you ain't got one, you should be trying to get it.
I want to double back because, you said the biggest fight is the Loma fight. Is that because if you don't win that fight, there is no Tank fight? So, the fight at hand is always the biggest fight till you get past it? Or do you really feel that Loma gives you
Yes.
a
No,
bigger
no, no.
glow?
You hit it. You
Okay.
hit it perfect. No, you hit it perfectly on the head. Our biggest fight is our next fight, and it's always gonna be like that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Our next fight, and especially with a fighter like Lomachenko. But at this stage of Devin's career, that's all that he's looking to be involved in is meaningful fights, right? Fights that push him to the next level. And I don't know if when you talk about a fight with Tank and Ryan, does that fight push Tank to the next level, right? A fight with Devin and Loma, I think it pushes Devin to the next level, preparing to be in big fights and, you know what I mean, 5 years, 10 years from now or whatever, preparing to be that fighter. This is a great fight for Devin.
For sure. Uh, Danny seems to believe that Devin won't get the credit even if he beats Loma. We
I
did a
said from
poll.
the people, yeah, I believe that the people that don't give him the respect already, I feel like they not gonna give it to him after Loma, because I feel like shit, he should have earned it already.
So our poll indicated that 46% of the people believe Devin would be the man in the division, the true champ, if he beats Loma. Do you think that the world will give your son credit, or will they still say he ain't fight Tank?
No, 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 no. If it would have been on there, to me, if it would have been over on there, is Devin the true champ, right? I think that the poll, he doesn't have to fight Loma to become the champ. What he does by fighting Loma is stamp and solidify what a champ does when a champ gets the belt. See, it's one thing to become the champ, and then it's one thing to do what the champ or what a real champ does, and that's what Devin is doing. It's not creating any walls or obstacles for the fight to not happen. And listen, I'm gonna tell you all, For real, the shit do not be going our way. I'm talking about all the way from wanting to fight before Ramadan. You know, they said Vegas is Vegas. Vegas might be like Danny. I don't know who Danny heard from, but if Vegas is not out, right, then that's not going our way. If it's going to Vegas, I mean going to New York, great opportunity, media capital. We got, you know, in all the five boroughs, I got love. Devin has love. So we take the best out of the situation, right? And say, okay, wherever we go, but it don't be swinging our way at all, man, for
How
real.
how soon could we expect an announcement, Bill?
Um, that that I'm not sure. I know that they're still talking about the potential of it being in Saudi Arabia, um, but as far as I know, um, no, it better happen in May. That's what
Hmm.
it better happen in May. You know what I'm saying? If it wasn't happening then, I heard in May. So I'm not announcing the date because they'll you know what I mean. The
Yeah.
Devin and Top Rank will announce the date, but I'm saying, listen, it's going to happen in May. That's what I heard. And let's, for all intent purposes, I don't know what day in May.
What would it
So
mean? Well,
let me get this one off before I forget. I've been repeating it in my head for like 5 minutes. Obviously, Ryan wanted to fight bad with Tank, moved up to 40, and now he's making him fight at 36. We know Devin is ready to leave the division. How willing are you and Devin, after you beat Loma, God willing,
God
to
willing.
stay? You know, if Tank offers the fight at 36, 35, can y'all still do it?
Well, the thing about it is with Dev is you got. It's just. I mean, you guys know it's one fight at a time with us at 135. You know, we got to get through this one, right? And I said the last one that we were going to 140. You know, Devin. You know his. You know his pursuit to crush what the naysayers are talking about. But ironically, funny it is, though, Ness, is that it was a whole lot of people talking about that in order for Devin to go, he had to go clear up his business with Loma. But now it's not a lot of people saying the stuff about Loma. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know, bro. I don't know. I don't know about that one.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Floyd said it best. They're always going to build up the next guy. So after the Loma performance with Jermaine Ortiz, you know, it's like Danny says, some people are sour. Do you think, though, that, you know, your son will fully expose Lomachenko? Because you know, some people like to use that phrase when they think about the fight with Ortiz and Loma.
Um, you will get a chance to see a more improved and better version of Devin. The Loma that's going to come in, I don't know. I'm expecting a better version of Loma than the one we saw with Jermaine Ortiz. You know, and but at the same time, Jermaine Ortiz might just be a tough young fighter as well. You know what I'm saying? We'll know. You'll learn more on fight night, and I want to, you know what I mean. I guess celebrate both the effort that Ortiz put in, but as well as what I mean, Lomachenko getting past them and ultimately raising his hand with Devin. So we'll see in May.
How do you feel about the public starting to build this perception that you and Dev may not want or have the same energy for Shakur at 35?
We keep the same energy with everybody. You know what I mean? We respect all the fighters, and anybody can get it. It's been Devin Haney versus everybody since we started, and that's how Devin gonna end his career. Devin Haney versus everybody.
Does Shakur get a fight, become mandatory in time to challenge Devin, or you see Devin out of that division or in a bigger fight with a Tank? Because obviously we would want Tank after Loma.
Oh, it's a big fight. It's a big fight with Shakur, as well as a big fight with Tank, just like
Are
Lomachenko.
they
You know what I mean?
equally as big to you? Are they equally as big? So it's like, if I could
They're
get
all
Tank
big
for my
guys.
son, or
No, no,
Shakur,
no,
we
no, no.
happy, or is one bigger than the other though?
No. They're all big guys in different ways, and their styles make fights. And for Devin to develop to the fighter that we know him to be, and for him to rightfully have his position on the Mount Rushmore of boxing, then all those make great fights. Every last one of them.
Is Shakur too good to try to use that phrase like "let's get him now" because he just got in the division, he hasn't acclimated? Does that exist for a guy that good, or is Shakur going to be, an elite 35-pounder at his first fight?
Shakur is one of the top fighters in the world, right? Now, Devin is one of the top fighters in the world as well. I don't believe that he'll need a fight at 35. That now he becomes an elite. He's already an elite fighter. So to answer your question, he doesn't need another fight. I believe he's already an elite fighter.
Is he worth sticking around, or you think, like you said, you've been wanting Devin to move up?
Well, it's not worth sticking around. He's worth negotiating and making that fight happen, right? In the weight class that's good for both fighters, right? Um, he's
Is
a
that
he's
35 though?
potentially can be 35, but I think that it'll be at 140 or 147.
Now, if it is at 40 and 47, it's gonna be for a belt because, if you ain't fighting at 35 for all the belt, because you correct me if I'm wrong. I got you on the screen as coach manager. If you have a belt, you getting paid more, and if you got 4 belts, you getting paid more, right? Like, is it safe for us as fight fans to assume that the fight between Devin and Shakur is more financially a
No,
bigger fight
that's
because of the
yeah, that's a
belts?
big fight. It's a big fight, and they both have been and had the ring belt, and they both have, you know what I mean. So that's a fight that probably won't need a belt. You know what I'm saying? It will have a belt. I'm sure that would make it great. But
90
those
seconds.
those two guys have risen to a respected level in the sport that whenever they cook, it's gonna be good at
Damn,
whatever they cooking.
Bill. It sounds like you on the opposite side of my argument then. So you don't mind Earl Spence and Thurman fighting at 54 for no belts, holding up the division with all the belts?
No,
Because it
what I'm
sounds like
saying
you.
is that
And the
I
only
don't.
reason I'm saying
Okay,
that is because it sounds like you saying some fights are big enough that they don't need a belt.
no, no. What I'm saying is that you just don't know what the landscaping is going to be. You don't know if it's going to be like in Floyd's case. It was big fights for one belt. It was big fights for 2 belts. You know what I mean? Those two guys are at the they're elite athletes, and it will be for something, I'm sure, but I just don't know that something. I don't know. I know at 135 pounds, Devin has all the belts. So if it was Devin stayed back for a fight, it would be for that. Going up to 140 or 47, I don't know what it. You know what I mean? I don't know. Right?
So I do want to double back because I know they're gonna try and come at you for saying 147. That gives, that's
Well,
like a
no,
long.
no, because why I say that is because if Dev goes up to 140 and he looks to become undisputed, and Shakur looks to become undisputed at 135, right? Devin moves up to 147. Shakur looks to become undisputed at 140. They plateau out where there's no more growing at 147, right? 147, and 147 being the money division of the smaller guys, right? It just seems like it just looks to me like a super fight at 147 on a level playing field. And I know a lot of the guys they want to catch us slipping. Ness, you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
I'm
I
listening. They
don't
want to
want
catch you
I
slipping.
don't yeah, they want to catch us slipping. We don't want to catch Shakur slipping, right? You know what I mean? We have a great relationship with the team, and we know that when the fight happens, It'll be a fight that's fair on either side for the world to see two bad jokers get together and it be a level playing field. Our last fight at 135 with Shakur, if we had one more fight and it was Shakur and not Loma, then that's different. If it's if it's Loma, then we look at the weight and we say, is it worth staying around here to fight a bad motor scooter where we might have a disadvantage because we're barely hanging on in the division, right? Is that a fair? So when you look down there and you see coach and manager, Bill Haney, I said, okay, well, as a dad, you might make an impulsive decision. As a coach and a manager, then I have to look at it and say to the people, I'm intelligently assessing it, and in hopes that I make the right decision that Devin is happy with, because he ultimately decides after I weigh out the things that's on the table.
I believe we have a poll that says who's the most avoided at 135, and Devin is in the lead with 49%. The biggest other percentile is Shakur Stevenson with 24%, Tank at 19%, Vasil 8%. Do you agree?
Absolutely.
Do you feel your son is the most avoided fighter in that division?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Specifically, by who do you think is avoiding him?
Anyone that's not knocking on that sanctioning body door, right? Demanding it, not that's going around and demanding it, not just on social media, but you have to do more. And Ness, you know what that more is.
Well, Bill, I think those are all my questions. I don't know. I do want to give you the opportunity to let everybody know about your new podcast. And I want to congratulate you. Oh, my God. I couldn't believe how packed that TED Talk was. That's amazing, bro. You killed it. I wish I could do a stage like that with that big screen. Shout out to Parents to Partners, your program. I hope that, a lot of fathers pick up the program and learn the skills that you've been able to put Devin in an amazing situation. So credit to you. Like I said from the beginning, you gave fathers a green print, and you continue to expand because you've turned it into a course. So let everybody know how they can follow it, how they can get it, and how they can be a part of Parents to Partners. And yeah.
Absolutely. I'm ecstatic that being a part of Parent to Partner, you know what I mean? And actually having a platform like the Boxing Voice to come on and encourage parents to no longer look in the sky for the stars, but let's find the stars within our children. Right? I'm working a program. I mean, and I'm happily working a program. I have 4 amazing biological children. I have 3 bonus babies, and that's the number 7 is my clan. We all work together, helping each other as partners. I know that sometimes as a parent, other parents might claim that you're robbed of your purpose by being a partner, but it didn't rob me of my purpose at all to be a partner. In fact, it has ignited my passion even more, and I'm just happy, brother. I'm just happy to be a partner with my kids. My daughter, she's going to be a tennis star. My son is also a tennis star. They're starting their YouTube channels up. That's something that I'm proud that I'm getting behind them. My mom's and dad didn't necessarily discourage me from getting in the music business, something that I had really liked, but they didn't encourage or support me. You know what I mean? Which seemed like something that was really far-fetched at that time. So now you have these opportunities for kids to become YouTube sensations, to upload their music, to do things that are non-traditional, that are not at the schools. I'm happy to be supporting mine, and I encourage everyone else to, to look a little bit more closely to your kids, and listen to what you're telling them not to do. For me per se, I was telling my kids, stop fighting. Boy, you better stop all that fighting. Boy, you better stop all that fighting. And look where we are right here. So that might be some other guy, some other mom right now that done told their son, this the last time I'm coming up there to that school about you fighting, right? I went through all those things. I used to go to the school an angry and frustrated parent, right? But through the boxing gym, I'm telling you, Devin, his natural gift. We found a way with his natural gift, his reflexes, all his stuff, um, to make him the best fighter in the world. That's what I believe that he is. And I just thank you, Ness, for giving me your platform and letting me come on and share a bit of my story that's non-boxing related, brother. I appreciate you.
Appreciate you, Bill. I'm sorry to go back to boxing, though. I just want to be clear. You're not training Amari Jones, right? You're just working with him.
Maury Jones out of Oakland, East Oakland, California, undefeated fighter, was in the gym with no other than Tim Tszyu yesterday
Sparring.
sparring.
That's the second session with him.
Second session with him. And shout out to Tim Tszyu and their team for inviting Amari over and giving him some of that good world-class work. Tim is a hell of a fighter, Ness. He's different. He's different.
Really?
He's different. I mean, he's definitely, you can tell why he's at that level. You can tell how he got to that level, the skills that he has. He's a special fighter, and I told him that I'm really looking forward to one day with him fighting against Charlo, because Charlo is a bad man. You know what I mean? And Derek James and them, they do a wonderful job down there, over there in Texas. So I was vocal about that, about wanting to see him fight. I don't know who he's fighting right now. I don't know who he's in camp for.
Yeah, they're saying he's looking to get a tuna back in Australia.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
don't want
So
to.
I
He
don't
don't
know.
want to stay. You know. He don't want to. He don't
Hey,
want to just wait for Charlo.
and anybody that's trying to go in there and follow behind Amari, know that Tim Tszyu, he is not playing. He is not taking it easy at all.
Shout out to Amari. I know he's trying to get on that Oakland card. I contacted Emily. She knows the promoter, man. So she reached out. I know he wants to get on that Oakland card. It's pretty stacked out there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
When is the date? When is it?
I mean, they're already in communication. I hit up Emily, who has Andy Vinces on that card,
Yes.
and she talked to the promoter, and the promoter's already working with Amari. I don't know if they're going to be able to slot him in, but he definitely said he was going to move some things around. Because I hear Amari's a draw over there. I heard he sold 400 tickets twice in Oakland.
Listen, Amari is a hell of a talent, right? He's the pride of Oakland, the Bay Area, Richmond, Vallejo. You know what I mean? He's something special and a future world champion for sure. You
But
know
you
what I
didn't
mean?
say, you didn't answer if you're the trainer or not.
Huh?
You never answered if you are the trainer or not.
Oh, absolutely. No, absolutely. You know what I mean? I've been training. I've been training Amari. I was in his corner his last fight. I was in his corner last night with him and Tim Tszyu working. You know what I mean? Um, but you know me, Ness. I'm all about the fighter getting better, and I'm all about being a part of the team and not always arguing to be the head of the team.
Okay, that's good though. I didn't know. I thought, for whatever reason, I'm like, man, Bill might ride off into the sunset after Devin, but to see you have another potential future world champ only adds to your resume, and continues to make you one of the best trainers in the world. What's your thoughts on Derek James landing the Anthony Joshua job?
Absolutely, man. Hey, listen, Derek James, hey, hell of a coach, right? Hell of a coach. Um, has done a tremendous job with Earl, tremendous job with the Charlos, and I expect, him to do a great job with Anthony Joshua. You know what I mean? I think that anybody that he's watching and paying attention to, I think that he knows what he's talking about. Um, Unfortunately, with him being vocal about things about Devin, he don't know about him because he's not watching Devin, so he don't know anything about.
Oh,
Uh,
wait. Derek has some words about Devin? I ain't know, because
no,
they got
no.
a
What I'm saying is
135-pounder over there
no.
named
If you
Frank
ask,
Martin.
no. What I'm saying is, I watch the Charlos, I watch Earl, so I know about them. I can come on here and say what bad guys they are, how good they are, so on and so forth. But I've been watching them. I've watched Derek work. If you ask Derek about Devin, he doesn't know anything.
Oh, he
He,
ain't
he
watch
he's
him?
Yeah, he says he doesn't watch them. He does.
Mm.
But he says he
Yeah, he
doesn't watch
barely
a whole lot
watches
of sport.
boxings. Yeah, he
Huh?
said that to me before. He's like, look, I come to the gym and train 3, 4 different fighters. When I go home, I turn off. I don't want to talk
Yeah,
about
right.
boxing, so
Exactly.
I do get him.
Exactly.
What's
Exactly.
your
So that's what he said.
last one? I swear. What's your thoughts on his fighter, Frank Martin, 135? Core said
Hell
he
of a
promised
ooh.
Core said, I promise you I'll fight, dude. He had a great performance with Michelle Rivera. What's your thoughts on 135-pounder Frank Martin?
Man, hell of a little young fighter, man. You know what I'm saying? Out of that Detroit, Michigan, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you know that Detroit produced them bad jokers, man. Detroit ain't no joke. That's that Motor City, home of Alicia Baumgardner as well, right? Am I right? Am I
I
right?
think
He's
so. I'm
from
gonna
Detroit.
double check because I want to say
Let me.
maybe Illinois. I think. Let me
Okay, well let
check.
me make sure. Oh, because he might. If let me, I don't want to give him too many grams if he's not from Detroit. I'm gonna give him all of them. No, I'm gonna give him all of them. But I'm saying is I don't want to give him any extras.
Yeah, you're right. Detroit, Michigan.
Oh yeah. You can already tell that Detroit swag. I knew he, you know what I mean? So yeah, I like Frank Martin. I like Frank Martin a lot. I like what he did with Michelle Rivera. You know what I mean? And yeah, good luck to him and his future with Derek James. He's just a small guy. I think that he's just too small for a Devin. Right?
Huh.
Dev looked at him and seen him, and Devin said when he seen him, he says, "Man, Frank is little."
Oh wow.
So,
Little.
but that's not to take anything away from him. Don't get it wrong. You see what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? It's just that when you talk about styles making fights, the style that Devin brings, Devin has height. He's rangy. You know what I mean? He has a lot of quick twitch, a lot of feet. You know what I'm saying? So, um, when I say that he's small, I don't mean that he's small and hard or small in his fights. I just mean he's his height and his reach
Yep.
or small. That's what I meant.
Well, Bill, you never said how they can get to parents to partners. Is there a .com? How do they listen to the podcast? And is there a way to listen to the TED Talk on playback?
Okay, so the TED Talk, as far as I know, that they're doing is it's an edit, and I look forward to it coming out because I hope that it can inspire
You know, we'll publish it
others.
here. I recommend you publish it on Devin's channel, but we'll also simultaneously upload it here if you like, for that,
Okay, good.
the word could get out.
And I appreciate that. You know more about that kind of stuff than I do, Ness. But absolutely, this the platform is being built, and like I said, it's a platform that parents can go to, and my hope that parents can go to in real time with real questions, and a help that they can be better partners to their children, way before the agents, way before the promoters, way before the Bill Haneys show up at your door saying they want to manage your son. We want to empower the parents to be in a position that once the organizations, whether it be the NFL, NBA, or whatever, approach the kid and have the kid feeling like the parent is inadequate and the parent is just along for the ride as a parent. We want to try to provide information to them to empower them to be an asset as a partner to their child, right? And be a part of that journey. And through that, you have to have resources. You have to have you have to have a real time community that's willing to share information. And I was fortunate to have the resources, but also fortunate to have the relationships. And I think if we come together as a community and share our relationships as parents, it'll make us better partners.
All right. Well, Bill, man, I appreciate you as always, man. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for always being available for TBV. Wish you the best. Keep us informed on what's next with Devin in terms of the May date, and enjoy the rest of the day.
Absolutely, King. Blessings to you and the boxing voice, the voice of the people. Thank you, brother.
Appreciate it. There you have it,
All right.
ladies and gentlemen. Bill Haney. What up, YouTube family? Don't forget to hit that like button. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Help us get to that 1,000,000 subscribers. We're on the road to 1,000,000. And obviously, we have other great content on our Patreon channel. So since this video is over, head on over to our Patreon and check out all the exclusive content or right here on our YouTube members.